No. It's a problem. You don't speak at all, and then you turn on a microphone and you try to speak, and it sounds like that. You don't remember to clear your throat because you're not good at this, but it's 231 episodes in, and here you are anyway doing the show. That's me. Hello. Hi. What's up? Brad Riter is my name. The show is called Riter Radio for now. Name might change soon. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of things happening. Hi. You've reached me on a day that we're doing a show, which is rare this week. Today show, as you can see here, listen to, we all acknowledge this is happening. So that's yes. And then tomorrow will be yes. And then Wednesday, Thursday will be no. And then Friday is probably no. But there's a chance, there's a maybe on Friday, but I think we take the rest of the week off. So Christmas time is here. It's Christmas Eve, Wednesday, Thursday. The kids are home. They'll be ruining the show at some point already today, I think. I do not intend to have them on today. I do intend to have them on tomorrow. We'll probably do something trivia related with the kids who will be here. They're leaving soon. They're getting picked up by my parents to go to a movie. But then we got to get them back in time for baseball practice. Because baseball was supposed to be Thursday. It's every Thursday night. And we're not going to have, shockingly, we're not going to have practice on Christmas. There won't be an indoor baseball practice on Christmas. My guess is it's because the facility is closed. So I think given the option, the coaching staff and also the kids would have chosen, it's Thursday. We practice on Thursdays. Sorry to everyone who's planning on a Yuletide meal, but we'll be taking some BP on a Thursday. But that's not happening. So there's practice today. But so the kids aren't even available to be on the show. That we'll hear. I think they're getting picked up at 10:30, and it's 10:15 right now. So I feel like there's a decent chance that you, as a viewer/listener, will get to hear a bit of the chaos that takes place when the children are ready to leave, because they're never all ready at the same time. There's always somebody who's a problem. There's always somebody who's got to put on different shirts and shoes, and no, it's winter, you can't wear shorts, like that kind of stuff. That's all going to happen over the course of the next 15 to 20 minutes. I've got headphones on, but I also have a microphone on. It all happens up there. I'm in the basement, but all the action happens right there. The front door is right there, and all the activity happens right there. That's the living room is directly above me. Actually, that's the dining room. Living room's over there. It doesn't matter. You don't need this. You don't need a schematic on my house. What are you going to do? What are you trying to do? All right. So I watched the Bills game, which was fine. I enjoyed the final score, which is really all I'm looking for at this time of year. There were several fantastic football games over the course of the weekend, starting with the Thursday game, which we already talked about on Friday. But the Thursday game was amazing. The Saturday night game was amazing. Last night's game was it was really a good game. What I was looking for, we'll get to the Bills. Scott Wilson will be on. We'll talk about all the stuff. But I got a few different things I want to kick around here. I found myself last night knowing full well that the game, if the Patriots lost last night, all it really meant was that the Bills had the ability to lose to the Eagles and still be in the same position as far as the AFC East is concerned. That's all it meant. And my plan is to have the Bills not lose to the Eagles or the Jets. Just go beat a couple of teams and put yourself in the best position. And if either the Jets or the Dolphins can take care of New England, the Bills can win the division. So it didn't, from a standings standpoint, at least in my mind, really matter last night what happened. But I wanted to see the Patriots I like the idea of them being knocked down a rung a little bit. I want them to recognize it's not their year or something. I don't know that a loss to Baltimore would have done that. But But I felt pretty good watching that game. And I typically, by Sunday Night Football, if the Bills are not involved in it, I'm out of interest. Like, I've taken in enough. And last night I watched almost the whole game. I watched the whole first half. Then I came downstairs to do some wrapping of presents and didn't turn it on because I knew it was on upstairs and was like, I'll get back up there as soon as I'm done with these. And I got back up. So I missed like 10 minutes, 8 minutes or something of the third quarter. But I saw the rest of the game. And Drake May's very good. He's a good player. That's a good team. I will say, even after watching them a couple weeks in a row now, when the defense was introduced for New England, I recognized almost none of the names, which doesn't mean anything. Me knowing their names doesn't make them good or bad. But I was still kind of, every time a tackle is made, I don't know who that guy is. And that helps me a little bit. Like, there's nothing there that I'm fearing. There's no, even most recent versions of the team, like Matthew Judon, who is on the Bills practice squad now. Like, that was a name. I was like, oh, he's here. Look out. Obviously, if he was available to sign to the Bills practice squad this week, he's not the player he used to be. That's okay. But I am cautiously is the word. Cautiously not afraid of the Patriots. I don't know what the word is. I guess cautiously optimistic that the Bills can handle that team. I think that they're growing into something. I think that they're worth being concerned with in the near future. And I think they're going to put up a fight anytime you play them. I think they're very well coached, and they've got a belief in themselves. I also think that the Bills gave them a little bit of a reminder, that that's Josh Allen over there. So it's cool, whatever it is that you're trying to do, but we still kind of got you here. And that's where I land after this weekend. On to the Bills game itself. It seems to me that heading into the playoffs, heading into bad weather games, whether they're played in Buffalo or not, a large portion of December and January football will be played outdoors in places where it might be windy and snowy and cold and blah, blah, blah. The idea that you've got the best player in the league, which I don't even know who you would possibly make a case for. Talk about MVP all you want. Who's going to win it? Who deserves it this year? What does most valuable player mean? All that stuff. You can do that. The best player in the league plays for the Bills, and he primarily is a thrower of the football, and he plays on a team that's the best running team in the NFL. So that seems like a positive. I'm not in love with the defense. How could you be? But if it comes down to a situation where you need to chew clock, you need to move the ball, you need to pick up a first down, like that's the Bills are good at it. They're real good at it. They're the best at it. Their running back, I don't remember ever. I guess maybe C.J. Spiller was there was a brief moment when we most often saw him touching the ball, and anytime he touched it, there was a chance he was gone. That's a nice feeling. And Thurman Thomas didn't have a ton of, and I should probably have looked this up before saying it out loud, but like, he wasn't breakaway back. He looks like you're getting 2, but gets 14. Looks like you're getting 6, but gets 21. But like, kind of gets, caught from behind. He's great. Hall of Fame. Well deserved. But there wasn't the breakaway scariness in the ground game back then, when it was kind of a similar thing. If you ask anyone from that team, anyone from that coaching staff, yeah, Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame quarterback. But bread and butter was, we can run the ball with Thurman, that counter tray thing that they just destroyed people with. Just running counter plays with the threat of the ball being thrown anywhere. That's kind of where the Bills live right now. There's a threat of the ball going anywhere because of the quarterback, but guess what? The bread and butter, the more consistent punch you're going to take from the Bills is coming on the ground from that guy. So shout out to James Cook, who has been just incredible this year. I was thinking over the weekend about how the team revolves around him to a certain extent. And, again, take it with a grain of salt. If there's a player that the Bills need, it's clearly 17. He's the guy in the league. If they cancel the whole league and start over. 32 out of 32 teams pick him first overall. That's the guy. But they've decided to not build everything around him being the be-all, end-all. It's like, we're going to play football. We're going to pound you. Our O-line's going to run you over. This guy's going to hit seams and take care of you. And by the way, when we need to throw the ball, we got this guy. Oh, and by the way, he's about as good a running back as the running back. That's, kicking sand in your face all over the field. So that's cool. Was the game on the road against the Browns a little tighter than one would have hoped? Yeah, eventually it was. Started out cool. It came out real flat in the second half and just couldn't get anything done, and ended up way tighter than you wanted it to be. But ultimately, coming out with the win and being among, I believe it's 6 teams that still have a chance to be the 1 seed with 2 weeks left in the season in the AFC. You're still one of them. 2 games left, and you could still be the 1. You could still win the division. Got to be a game better than the Pats over the next couple weeks here. They only have AFC East competition, so you need that to kick in. You need a loss there from them. And then, I probably should have looked at this again to confirm. But I believe 2-0 Bills beats 1-1 Pats for the top spot in the division. And depending on what happens with, almost everyone else who's involved in the playoff hunt, the 1 seed is still in play for the Bills too. So I have no complaints. Nothing bad to say about anything that happened over the weekend. Best thing I saw over the weekend, there were some amazing catches. There were some crazy overturned calls and replays, and there was that 2-point conversion thing on Thursday. There was everything that happened between the Bears and Seahawks. There was everything that happened in the Bills game. There was everything that happened in last night's game. Craziness. Best thing I saw the whole weekend in a world of sports where I witnessed a ton of NFL football. I watched literally no college football, so I've got nothing on that. We'll get info on that from Scott Wilson when he checks in around 11 o'clock. He's usually stopping by just around 11 o'clock. I should do that. He's our ice cream man. Best thing I saw in the world of athletics over the course of the weekend, I saw for the first time in my life, live in person, I saw a triple play, a baseball triple play, live, turned by a group of 9-year-olds. Really happened. Very excited about it. Couldn't wait. It's number 1 on my sheet. I've got my little show sheets back. Number 1 thing I wrote down. I wrote it down on Friday. But it's been there. It's just been lingering. Triple play. Line drive. Man on first. Maybe bases loaded. Might have been bases loaded. Might have been first and third. Let's just say first and third. Line drive. Second baseman. Catches the line drive. Chases the runner who was on first back toward first. Tags him out just before getting there. Turns and throws home. Tag applied. Out at the plate. 3 outs. 1 play. 9-year-old kids. They're doing something right with our travel team when they are alert enough to make that kind of play. It was unbelievable. Maybe the best part is they came off the field and multiple kids, I didn't hear it, but I heard it from one of the coaches or one of the other parents, said they came off the field. Yeah, it was one of the coaches. Yeah, we got a triple out. We got a triple out. They didn't even know what to call it. I've never seen it in person in my life. Not at a Major League game, not at a Bison's game, not at a Little League game, not at a Bar League softball game, not at one of my sister's softball games. I've never seen it. Triple play. It all happens so fast. The circumstances have to be so right for that to happen, and they all happen, and then the team has to be able to execute it. And there's no video, damn it. Typically, most games, we've got the game changer video going, and right after it happened, I asked the coach, I'm like, do we have video? He said, no. So it's gone. It's lost to life. But I watched 9-year-olds turn a triple play. Line drive to short, to second. Second baseman catches it, follows a runner back toward first, gets to him 3 feet before the bag, tag, turn, throw to the plate, tag at the plate, out. Out of the game, out of the inning. In a game that they won by a lot. But, my God, triple play. Little League, 9-year-old triple play. It happened. Good job, boys. I try not to dwell on the technological issues and malfunctions that take place here, but today is it's a whole different vibe for me because one of my monitors stopped working and I didn't get around to replacing it over the course of the weekend. So I don't have enough screens today to be able to typically, all right in front of me is the screen that shows what's happening, the video. I mean, I'm just going to end up not watching. So there might end up being a thing where, like, I'm just not on the screen and I'm missing the chat. I see it right now. Let's see. We've got the Niagara Grit, who seems to be Arbo. I think Arbo changed his name. Says it's a great day to be a Buffalo sports fan. That's true. And then we've got 100% they would have from High Meadow Home, which I think is Henry's mom. Again, we had a little conversation with Henry's mom. I saw Henry's mom and Henry's dad over the weekend, and we discussed the conversation we had, which is lay off of Henry's mom. She's in the chat again. It does not give you any right to say anything to her like, hey, look, it's a girl here. Don't. Because Henry's dad will kill you. I talked to him. I gave him clearance for it. Niagara Grit confirms, yes, it's Arbo. See, I can tell. I know your tone of voice, Arbo. I know how this is going. Great day to be a Buffalo sports fan is correct. The Sabres have won 6 games in a row, and the Bills have won 4 games in a row. If you were born on December 9th and also conscious of the sports scene you walked into, if you moved here, I guess born is wrong. My hat's not doing the right thing. There we go. I want you to see the ball on the hat. There we go. If you came out of a coma, there we go. You came out of a coma on December 9th, a mere 13 days ago, you would see that the Buffalo professional sports teams win every single game. The Bills are on a 4-game win streak, but 2 of them happened before the 9th. So maybe you come out of the coma. The first thing you ask is, how'd the Bills do? How are the Bills doing? And somebody told you they've won 2 games in a row. Like, all right, that's good. They're in the thick of the playoff hunt. They're going to make it. They're very, very likely to make the playoffs. They have a reasonable chance to win the division. They've got an outside shot at the 1 seed and getting a bye and closing out Highmark Stadium with the AFC Championship game at home. Like, all of that stuff is still in play. That's what you would have learned coming out of a coma on December 9th. And then be like, how about the Sabres? You're like, we'll see. They've been okay. But then day after day, night after night, it's just win, 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 win. Win, win, win. Win, win, win. Sorry, I did 1 too many. But 6 straight for them. So it's between the 2 teams, 10 consecutive victories. And, it's good. Oh, it's happening. It's starting. I can tell. Yep, it's 10:31. There we go. I'm starting to hear the noise and the yelling from upstairs because 3 kids getting out of the house at the same time never works the way that you want it to, ever. So if chaos ensues, we'll play music and I'll go shove somebody out the door or put somebody in a trunk or whatever I have to do, whatever it takes to make sure that this all happens. They're going to see Zootopia 2, which I would like to see. Not in I'm going to a theater type of way, but when it comes around to being available at home, I will watch Zootopia 2 because Zootopia 1 was great, and I'm not even Chinese. The movie is massive in China, and it's big and okay. It was the box office leader for 3 straight weeks. I think it lost to the new Avatar movie this weekend. That one makes no sense to me. Along the lines of movies, I talked on Friday about my movie plan, and I did it. I watched Medea's Destination Wedding. I did that last night when football was over. I couldn't wait for football to be over so that I could resume actually watching Medea's Destination Wedding. I learned last week that movie is set in the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, which is a place that I've been twice. And I assigned it to Scott Wilson. Said, I'm going to watch this movie over the weekend. He said, I think I can do it. I texted him late last night, like almost 1 o'clock, and said, I just finished the movie and I've got many thoughts on it. And then this morning he replied, because you text somebody at 12:45 a.m. It's unlikely to get a response. I always feel safe texting Scott. It doesn't matter what time. But he had a run-in with his wife. It was like 1:30 in the morning where his phone went off and it woke her up, but not him. She's like, who the hell's texting you? He's like, I just assumed Brad, probably Brad. It's Brad. It was me. Watch a movie. And like, I have the function on my phone where I can delay it. And I do that a lot of times. If I'm talking to someone, I don't want to say more important to Scott, but somebody I know less well, or someone that I don't just talk to all the time, I would put a little timer on it. So yeah, I thought of this at 1:30 a.m., but you're probably not up. And even if you are, you're not expecting a text right now. Nobody wants to have a conversation at that time of night. So I'll just set it to send at 8 o'clock in the morning or something. But with Scott, I don't do that. So I texted him at 12:45 or something, and I got a reply this morning that said, oh, no, I forgot. Let me see if he... there is a chance. I didn't actually read the whole thing. I just saw it early. Yeah, I totally forgot. Oh, there was a part of me that thought sending that last night, he'd wake up and be like, oh, I forgot. I guess I'll watch it now. There's a chance. Knowing Scott, like, yeah, no, I hadn't seen it until this morning, and now I'm watching it before I come on. So I gave him ample lead time, but he's probably just got to work. You can't just watch Medea's Destination Wedding when you're at work if you want to remain employed anyway. So there's a chance he didn't see it. So at some point we'll talk about the Medea movie. It's the first Medea movie I've ever seen. It was not made for me. I can say that. It's very clearly not made for me. It's wild. There's a whole different world that these Medea films seem to exist in. Just unrelated to the rest of society or the cinematic, like, the universe is the wrong word, but like just it's like a different thing. It's a different category of everything. Also, I enjoyed it, but it was very different. It ended, and I found myself saying out loud, maybe I'm going to watch every Medea movie. I might. That might be a thing. Would me watching a Medea movie and doing a podcast about each one be the same thing as, like, when I watch a YouTube video where it's like, this black guy listens to Tool for the first time? And then, Danny Carey does something crazy, and there's just a guy that's like, damn! Like, it's just the whole, the culture, there's a divide that it's funny to expose on YouTube. But I feel like that would be kind of the same thing. Just old white guy watches Medea movies. There's something to that. There's something there. I'm always trying to get an angle here. I like doing the show. I like the Riter Radio thing. Just live, a lot of sports, but a lot of entertainment and just kind of what's going on in my life. I like doing it, but I also intend to I'm always trying to hone in on like a specific, what's the podcast I could do that would be different? You know, because I'm very capable of doing this. And, you know, if you're tuned in, you're like, oh, yeah, you've been doing it for a while. You can handle it. Most podcasts and shows that I watch and listen to, like, I could do that, or I could do a better version of that. That's how I feel. But I'm always, the market is so saturated in the podcast world, you need like a specific angle. And being old and white and watching Medea movies like they're Goodfellas, to me, might be interesting. I don't know. I've only seen one. And I only watched it because it took place largely in a resort that I've been to twice. I've been there for, 10, 11 days now. Over the course of 2 trips. Once 6 years ago, once last year. I also, over the weekend, kept getting things in my feed from previous bowl games. And it reminded me that this sucks that the Bulls only won 5 times this year and now a bunch of players are going to transfer. Like, ugh, we could be somewhere. Now, had they just won on the final day, pretty sure we would have been playing a 1 p.m. game in Detroit the day after Christmas. And that would have been less than ideal. So that loss, I'm okay with skipping that. But the rest of the trips, it's funny because we strive for Detroit because that's where the MAC championship game is. And I always want the Bulls to go to Detroit. But like first weekend in December is when I'd like to go because then you're playing for a trophy. As opposed to, I guess you get a trophy for winning a bowl game too, but not the same thing. Championship, Detroit, cool. Bowl game, Detroit, bottom rung. Like we're going to a bowl game. Where are you going? Detroit. When? Day after Christmas. Ugh. What time? 1. So you can't go that day? Now. No, you'd have to leave Buffalo on Christmas to go to Detroit. But it's sad. And there was a line in the Tyler Perry movie, in the Medea's, it's called Medea's Destination Wedding, where there actually was a reference to, I know what it was. Medea, who's played by Tyler Perry as, I guess she's supposed to be in her 80s. She's like the matriarch of the family. I think you're supposed to watch them all, not just one of them. You're not supposed to jump in to the 14th Medea movie first, but I never knew what it was or who she was or what the story. I mean, obviously it's a dude playing a woman, and she's got gray hair, so she's not young, but she's like the matriarch of the family, I think. Still not 100% clear after watching all of Medea's Destination Wedding. But there's a part where she's in the airport. They live in Atlanta. And she's in the airport, and they're heading to the plane. They're in the terminal, and they're heading to the plane because they're going to get on the plane. And Medea's bragging to people that she's going to the Bahamas, which is not crazy. I really, honestly, going to the Bahamas is in first place. But second place for what makes that cool is telling people you're about to go to the Bahamas, especially when it's snowing. God, I got to go to work. Where do you have to go? Nassau. The Atlantis Resort, also known as Paradise. I'm going to go there, and, it sucks because we have to go 4 days early. And there's, like, nothing to do except eat, drink, golf, record podcasts, wear Hawaiian shirts. There's not, that's the best part. It's the second best. The best part's going. The second best part is telling people you're going. Telling you people you went is third, but telling them you're going is better. And Medea, wisely, knows that it's fun to talk about that. So they're in the airport, and she says, where are you going? I'm going to the Bahamas. I'm going to the Bahamas. Where are you going? Like Alabama? And that reminded me of, like, Bahamas Bowl versus Camellia Bowl. Bahamas Bowl versus Dollar General Bowl. We've been to Alabama a bunch. I think it's been 3 Alabama bowl games, 2 Camellias. It might be 4. It might be 2 Camellia Bowls and 1 Dollar General Bowl and 1 whatever else they called the Dollar General Bowl in Mobile. But like 2 Montgomery Alabamas, 2 Mobile Alabamas. I'd have to look, but it sounds right. And a couple of those we didn't make, one because of a snowstorm, one because of COVID, or I don't know. But bowl game, super fun. You want to hear Bahamas attached to it. Boise's cool. They're all cool. But I would say in last place would be Detroit day after Christmas. And like I wanted to jump into the conversation that Medea was having with people in the airport about Alabama. Like Alabama's fine. It's if you're going to Detroit, it's a problem. But they weren't talking about bowl games. They were talking about the the destination wedding. It's a whole different life. Message from Ben, who says, I rewatched all of Star Trek The New Generation because there was a good podcast which went along with each episode. If you're going to podcast Medea movies, I'd watch them to follow along. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's crazy. We're going to have to go sequential. I'm going to have to let's find out. Let's find out right now what the situation is with Medea. Prize-winning Powerball ticket sold in Western New York. The lottery announced the third prize-winning ticket worth $50,000 was sold at Tops on Elmwood Avenue in Buffalo. All right. Well, congratulations to someone who shops at Tops for your $50,000 win. I got to say, $50,000 sounds great. But knowing that the Powerball jackpot has just climbed to $1.6 billion, $1.6 billion for Powerball, and then seeing, hey, there's a winner in Buffalo. I thought we had a new Pagula. And really, we just have a new, I don't know, somebody's going on a trip and paying off a credit card and calling it a day. So it's cool. It's, would I like to win $50,000? Yes. But when you hear Powerball and winner in the same sentence, it sounds larger than $50,000. Like a lot larger. The Bills have not clinched a playoff spot. They could do so tonight if the Niners beat the Phillip Rivers-led Indianapolis Colts. That game is in Indy. I had that wrong yesterday. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I in my head, it was in San Francisco. It's in Indy. But that is tonight. Niners 10-4, Colts 8-6. If the Colts lose, it puts a bunch of teams into the playoffs. I think it's Denver and New England that have clinched playoff spots. And everyone else is just kind of waiting on this. They're waiting on, if the Raiders had finished things against Houston yesterday, the Bills would be already in the playoffs. I'm going to get to the Medea thing. Hang on. The playoff picture, there's a new ESPN version of the playoff picture that shows percentage chance of making the playoffs, percentage chance of winning the division, and percentage chance to earn the 1 seed. Right now, there are still 6 teams with a chance to be the 1 seed, including the Texans. They have a 0.1% chance. I don't believe in the numbers necessarily, like the percentages. It matters who's actually good. I don't know what goes into the formula. I just don't trust numbers like this. But it's got the Broncos and Patriots with the best chance of being the 1 seed. That makes sense. Jaguars have a shot. Bills have a shot. Chargers have a shot. Texans 0.1%. It shows the Bills as 4.1%. That I don't buy that. I'm sure that there is a mathematical formula. They didn't make up the numbers, but they're not numbers that I can like wholeheartedly believe in. Like it says the Bills have a 20.9% chance to win the division. But really, they need to win 2 games. They need the Patriots to lose a game. That's better than, they need to be a game better than the Patriots over the next 2. And that would absolutely have to include a win over the Jets. A loss last night by the Pats, all it really would have done is made it so the Bills could lose to the Eagles and still win the division. That didn't happen. So now the Bills definitely need to go 2-0 to get the division. And the Patriots need to lose one of their games. And then the Bills just get the division. That's cool. And then you look at the Broncos who have the same record. You need them to lose one of their two to move ahead of them. I'm sorry, they might need to lose both. So for some reason on this chart it shows percentages, but it doesn't show wins and losses. They might need to lose both. So I'm not planning on the 1 seed. But they're alive for the 1 seed. All right, Medea. Let's see what's going on with Medea. What time is it? 10:47. All right, we're good. Let's get off of the Sabre. I'm not going to do the Sabres anymore. But yeah, 6 straight wins for the Sabres. They beat Edmonton in overtime. They beat Vancouver 3-2. They beat Seattle 3-1. That doesn't even sound like a hockey game. They beat Philly 5-3. They won in a shootout against the Islanders on Saturday. And then they won again yesterday, 17-4-4. We're going to click on standings again, see if anything's changed. It seems like 6 straight wins should put you, when you're already a 500-ish team, 6 straight wins should put you into a better spot. Hey, they're not in last place in the conference. Cool. But again, my problem with the NHL standings, the last place team has earned 35 points in 35 games. There's something totally wrong there. That's a 500 record. That should be in the middle. The NHL and I are having a major math problem. But the Sabres are now 17-14-4. So from a points percentage standpoint, they're 3 games above 500. And it shows with 38 points in 35 games. That shouldn't be at the bottom of the league. Or the bottom of the division or the conference, whatever you want to say. There has become a clearer delineation between the Sabres and the bottom of the conference, which is Columbus at 34 points. So you got a 4-point gap there. Sabres are at 38, and they're ahead of the Leafs, who are at 35 in the conference. But that's it. I mean, if you just switch it to conference standings, they're going to be third to last, despite being 17-14. And then 4 overtime losses, which are essentially ties, but they're not because you lost. So it's, I don't know. They're doing it wrong. You need 3-point wins in the NHL. Badly need them. Okay, I'm done with hockey for the day. We're done with that. I'll leave this Bills thing open because we'll probably get to that with Scott. And now we're going to look up Medea movies. Medea movies in order. All right, let's see. I think Diary of a Mad Black Woman is first. That's what I know of her. Yeah, it's 2005. All right, so we've got 20 years of these things. But I think it's time. I think it's time to break down. I learned last night that Medea is not her name. Her name is Mabel Earlene Simmons. And she's, well, how is she described? A tough, street-smart, elderly African-American woman. Medea is based on Perry's mother and his aunt. Exactly the PG version of my mother and my aunt, and I loved having an opportunity to pay homage to them. She would beat the hell out of you, but make sure the ambulance got there in time to make sure they could set your arm back because the love was there inside all of it. The Medea films and plays are comedy and plays. Or plays, or Medea plays. But all contain serious themes and are intended to deliver moral messages about issues such as infidelity, spousal abuse, and the consequences of one's actions. The character also appeared in sketches on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. All right. I just want a list of the movies in order. Where's the list of the movies? Films. Here we go. All right. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. 14, well, one of them's upcoming. So 13 movies, one of which I've seen. I'm not going to go backward. I watched the last one first. I think I got to start 20 years ago with Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That's 2005. In 2006, we had Medea's Family Reunion. In 2008, he's got a cameo in Meet the Browns. I don't want that. I want the Medea movies. Meet the Browns. Who are the Browns? Oh, wait. There's a guy named Brown. The one I watched last night. I wonder if that's them. But he only has a cameo, so I'm not really sure. We'll see. That might be like a very special episode. Mad Black Woman, Medea's family reunion. Medea goes to jail. I Can Do Bad All By Myself. Medea's Big Happy Family. Medea's Witness Protection. A Medea Christmas. Oh, I might have to watch that one next. Boo. A Medea Halloween. Boo 2. A Medea Halloween. A Medea Family Funeral. A Medea Homecoming. Medea's Destination Wedding. And then Joe's College Road Trip cameo, TBA. There's also an animated film called Medea's Tough Love. There's also a TV series called House of Pain. Just as guest appearances. So Medea was showing up on that. Here's what's up with Meet the Browns. Mabel is said to be the mother of Cora Simmons as a result of a one-night stand with the show's lead character, Mr. Leroy Brown. She's an unseen character throughout the series. All right, so we don't need to watch that. There's a show called Love Thy Neighbor. Medea made a special guest appearance in the Oprah Winfrey Network comedy series Love Thy Neighbor. Episode titled Medea's Pressure Is Up aired as part of the third season. He/she's been involved in the Tonight Show. There's a commercial for BET. Tyler Perry explained the streaming service to Medea and Joe at the same time when they were arguing on what to watch on TV. All right, there's a whole chart here of the characters and who plays them in all of these movies and shows. Tyler Perry plays a lot of the characters. He also plays himself. I'm pretty sure the only thing I'd ever seen Tyler Perry in prior to watching Medea's Destination Wedding last night was Don't Look Up, which was a Netflix movie like 3-4 years ago that I thought was awesome. And I thought Tyler Perry was really good in that. I was like, I don't hate this guy at all. But I'm very turned off by, I've talked about this, like the things I can't watch, like In Living Color. I could never watch In Living Color because the images I got from it were of hideous, like Jim Carrey as the fireman Bill, or whatever that was. And like his face, I didn't like his face. And then also Jamie Foxx as a woman. I couldn't take it. And then I see these movies made by Tyler Perry where he's dressed as an old lady. He's a 30-something-year-old man at the time, I would think. Maybe younger. How old is he? But dressed as an old lady, and I just I don't want to watch that. It just looks terrible. Stupid. But I watched. I think I can watch these movies. And I wouldn't have thought I'm going to move Medea to the top of my list of things I got to get through. Like, it should, if you know me at all, it should go behind Better Call Saul, for example. I just haven't gotten around to watching it. But it's such a commitment. But we're talking about 13 movies. I could do a whole thing. I think that's right. I think a podcast about Medea movies hosted by a middle-aged white guy. I think that's the right move for me. It's just like the black dude listening to Tool. It's the same thing. That works on YouTube. I don't know what kind of numbers he does, but I'm interested. Like, well, this is a fish out of water kind of story. Those movies aren't made for me. I'm going to watch them anyway and tell you what I think. I don't know. Maybe. It's just a maybe. All right, we're going to take a break, and Scott Wilson will join me in just a couple minutes. He didn't watch the Medea movie because he's a jerk, but he will. We'll get to it. So I'm one screen short, so if it seems like I'm a little off and distracted and confused, I am. It's true. Because as I'm, like, typically I've got, the what's happening on camera is right in front of me, and I've got to switch all the scenes, and, like, I'm the director of the show. And that's the screen where I'm the director is there. And then I'm in charge of the audio stuff. That goes over there. That's on the screen on the right. That's Spotify, and it's the little video, the full page of Spotify that I can control, and then the little square of Spotify that shows up on the screen when I'm playing the music, like that's over there. And then I've got a screen right here, and that's where I can read stuff from. Except that screen just stopped working. And I tried multiple times over the weekend to revive it, and it's kind of recognized by the computer, but it's kind of not recognized by the computer. And it's a pretty old monitor. I think it just died. I think it's just shot. There's also a chance it's just an HDMI cable, and I swap it out and everything's fine. I haven't tried that yet. I'm realizing now. Also, I could just buy a new monitor. I kind of want two more. I need more screens in front of me, honestly. It's ridiculous, but it's true. I don't know if I'm equipped to handle two more screens or one more in addition to replacing this one. I don't know if equipment-wise and port-wise I've got that. But I definitely could use one more screen. It would be very helpful. It would leave me with 4 monitors. But if you've ever been in like a control room of a TV station or like the control room at Alumni Arena at UB, there's a million monitors, ton of screens. You need them to try to do this thing right. They have a ton of people. I only have me, but I need more space. I need more space to click things. So what you will notice today will be like little 2 or 3 second delays of silence as I'm moving stuff around because I don't have the space to put everything I need to do a show. This is more complicated than it seems. The fact that I've pulled off 231 episodes of this is a minor miracle. You should be proud of me. You should be impressed, even if you think the show sucks. All the stuff that goes into putting this together is crazy, and it's just me. I have help from friends, like, Scott is on twice a week for an hour, usually. Very helpful. Bob comes on every week. It's awesome. But from like a technical standpoint, this is a minor miracle that I've been able to pull off 231 episodes of this without the whole thing just breaking. And little pieces break all the time. But we've still gotten through 231 episodes, which is unbelievable, honestly. I'm wearing a Santa hat today. You may have noticed it. It's the red and white thing on my head. This is not a Santa. This is a Bill shirt. But it fit. I had the red shirt on. I was like, oh, the hat. Let's put the hat on. I wore the hat out. I wore the hat to the Little League indoor game the other day where I saw the triple play. Then also found myself, for the first time ever, I believe, in danger of being thrown out of a game for my mouth. But I was frustrated on behalf of everyone who was there. And the umpire doesn't... You got to be loud. You have to speak up. If you're just loud... If you are a terrible ump, but you're loud, there's not much anyone can say. If you're decisive and everyone knows what's going on in the game, you've done 98% of your job. And when you don't do that, like when every pitch, somebody's got to ask, is that a ball or a strike? And then the kid gets sick of answering the question. So then he's like mad at you, but really everyone's mad at him. And then he makes a horrible call that was, atrocious. I couldn't shut up. So sorry to that kid. Be better. Like, learn the game, learn the role of you. Because I don't apologize for that. The next time I walk into a game and that same kid is the I'm like, well, this is gonna suck. Like, we know that. What do we do about that? Like, it's not my league. If it was my league, the one where I'm on the board, we would do something about that umpire and his inability to effectively communicate with the people who are there to play and watch the game. We would do something about it. I don't have any ability to do that at this place. It's not our league. It's not our... We don't have... I don't employ him. We don't employ him. So there's nothing I can do. So, I think I stand by what I said. I should have been quieter. But I didn't get thrown out. That was good. I almost threw myself out. Oh, and I did this while wearing a Santa hat. So now I'm the jerk on the side complaining loudly about the umpire. And I'm wearing a Santa hat. And I was like, man, you gotta go one way or the other. Be obnoxious, with your actions or be obnoxious with your hat. You can't do the same, they both at the same time. It really makes you look like a jerk. So I look like a jerk in a Santa hat. I was right, but being right doesn't necessarily translate to making you cool. So, that happened. Whatever. All right, we're going to move on. Can we do music here, or are we done with the ads? It's what I did there. This is a courtesy to you. Instead of just hitting play and you sitting through the ads, I played the ads with the audio down so you didn't have to listen to it and waited through it. And I think now we can just play regular music without ads. We'll get through like 3 songs, and then Scott will join us. Now there we are. It's me in a Santa hat and cartoon Scott. Scott looks the same every time we have him on. He looks exactly the same. Got to mix it up. Mix in a meat raffle pork loin photo or something. I don't know. What's up? Hey, Scott.
Speaking of which, last night's dinner was some of the pork chops from that pork loin that I won.
Still going. Well, I mean, that's easily a month ago that you won that stuff.
It was delicious.
Yeah, I'm sure. Did you?
Awesome.
So what'd you end up? So you won ribeye steaks.
I won 2 bone-in ribeye steaks. And then I in the first half.
Yeah.
And then I closed out the afternoon or the evening, I should say. It was a night game with a full pork loin.
Massive pork loin.
Massive boneless pork loin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you?
I've still got 4 or 5 chops left.
Really? How'd you cook the chops?
Just grilled them.
Grill outdoors?
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Just grilled them up.
Right.
You know, nothing crazy.
They good?
They were delicious. They've got, it's got a really nice thick layer of fat on there that adds to the flavor. It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's not. They weren't quite the level of Montgomery Inn, but
sure,
still pretty good.
Do you have Montgomery Inn barbecue sauce? I'm out of it. I've got my fingers crossed that it'll show up under the Christmas tree, because my wife knows how much I like that stuff and tends to find it around this time of year. But I've been dry Montgomery Inn sauce because we haven't been there in a couple of years, and it hasn't been Christmas in a while. But it's coming, man. We're 3 days away.
I haven't had. Well, I've had it. I've had it when we go.
But you don't have it in stock.
I'll usually buy it, but yeah.
Huh? All right. Well, I think that's crazy.
Should be some. Maybe I'll throw that in. Maybe I'll tell the wife to get on that.
Yeah.
And I will verify your story about your text messages. I have been questioned.
About me texting you in the middle of the night?
Yes. Yeah. Where it's one of those things where we have a thing going on where she'll be on call or I'll be on call, and eventually at some point somebody actually calls and you have to take the call. And then afterwards it's kind of like a thing back and forth where I'll be like, who is that? Who are you talking to? Kind of an accusatory tone, like, are you screwing around on me?
Yeah.
And we were going back and forth, and then I have my phone on a charger, but it's like out of reach, so that when the alarm goes off in the morning, I have to physically get up to turn it off.
Yeah. That's a good move.
So then it kind of became a thing where the fun questions turned into, who is actually texting you at 1:30?
Yeah.
1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's Brad. I talked to like 2 people in my life. It's Brad. I know it's Brad.
It's always me.
It's always Brad.
Should I stop?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't care what you think.
As cell
That's
phones,
what marriage is.
Right. Yeah, just not caring. As cell phones became like a major part of our lives, I remember having a conversation with Jeremy White where we established the rules for cell phones, and the rules we decided there are no rules, because it's not like making a phone ring in somebody's house, like at my parents' house. Like when the phone rings, they have an extra ringer that my dad rigged up that's in the basement, and it's super loud because at the time he set it up, he was, he does a lot of like woodworking, and so he's in the basement with like a table saw running or a router or whatever. And before they had cell phones, if the phone rang, you had to go to the kitchen to get the phone. And he wouldn't hear it if he was downstairs doing his stuff. So they set up a ringer. So now when we're at my parents' house, you hear not only the phone ringing on the wall in the kitchen, but there's like a hardcore bell thing in the basement. You feel it. Like you feel the floor of the living room vibrate. I'm not doing that. I'm calling a cell phone that everyone has the ability to either put on silent or put on vibrate or turn off completely or whatever. So if your phone is on, you get my message when I send it to you. I'm not calling you at 1:30 in the morning. I'm just sending you the thing that I'm thinking about, which is last night was that I had finished watching Medea's Destination Wedding, set it in the...
Medea.
Yeah, I watched the Medea. Dude, there was... I can't wait for you to see it. You forgot and didn't watch it, and that's okay, because you're going to watch it.
It's a lot of football. There's
so
more
much
football than I anticipated.
Honestly, when I watched... I started it during the night game last night. When it got to halftime, I had gifts to wrap, which I did in the basement, and while wrapping gifts, I turned on the movie because it was halftime of the game and wrapped gifts. And then I ended up, it probably took me half an hour to wrap the gifts. So I missed the beginning of the third quarter. But what I got to do is watch the entire part of the movie before they go to the Bahamas while wrapping gifts. And then I stopped it. Then I went upstairs. I watched the rest of the football game. And then when I was done, I said to my wife, all right, I'm going to go downstairs and watch Medea's Destination Wedding, because they're about to get to Paradise. They're heading to the Atlantis Resort. There are a couple of things that I'm going to tell you about it. I know we will have a full conversation about it very soon. But one, where do you think Medea stays?
I think she probably stays in what's
the Michael Jackson suite.
Oh, come on.
The Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Well, they don't mention the Michael Jackson thing, but we know that it's the Michael Jackson thing. But there's like oh baby, this room is so, this whole thing, and it's clearly they pan out. She's looking out the window. They pan out, and it's the bridge between the two towers in the part where we stayed. So there's that. There's a shot. They of course go to the buffet. There's a shot in the buffet, and I'm looking at it going, if you just go right over there, that's where the seafood Newburgh is. Like I know where that is. They use the slide. I believe it's called the Leap of Faith, the water slide. They didn't show the part where the sharks are in the water around you when you go through the slide, but they that was there. It all happens, man. It's all there. I wanted Shake Shack to be involved. It was not. I also started wondering, this movie just came out in 2025. I meant to look up, when did they shoot it? Like, they could have been shooting it while we were there, or right around the time we were there, for a movie that came out this year. So I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot to process. There's the Bahamas part of it, but then there's also just the culture shock of, like, you've been making these for 20 years, and this is what you've been pumping into predominantly black people. Because it's 20 years. The first one came out in 2005, and I had seen none of it until now. And it's like, oh, there's a whole different kind of conversation that's going on in society, and I'm not a part of it, which made me want to watch all of them. So I think I'm going to probably end up doing that. We'll see. If you want to go along for the ride, you definitely have to watch this one, because we have to talk about it. And then see if you want to go for the ride, because I am not opposed to doing old white guys watch Medea movies as a podcast.
Yeah, no, that could be something. That could be dangerous, but it could be something.
What's dangerous? It's not dangerous.
No, I have seen the first one.
Oh, you have?
The first one is a real movie, and then I haven't seen any of the other ones, but just from seeing some of the trailers, it seems to go down a pretty slippery slope, fairly fast.
Yeah, well, I don't know where it started, but I know where it is right now, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm in. I think I'm in.
I'm definitely in on having
the
Bahamas one.
Yeah.
The Atlantis Resort, Medea.
All right.
Now I'll ask you this: Are there constant callbacks to other movies?
I don't know. I can't tell.
I don't. That's what I'm wondering, if each one is kind of self-contained.
Well, it would have helped if I understood the relationships between the people better, like who is whose parent, and like I mean the main characters. It was clearly outlined like who is who, but I mean it's an army of people that are like making up every scene. They're on a plane to the Bahamas, and I feel like I'm supposed to know who everybody is and how they all relate to each other, and I don't. So like, who's Brown? He just seems to be a friend, but he might. I don't know. There's a whole movie called Meet the Browns or something that maybe they're neighbors. I don't know. So there might be callbacks that I just don't get. I'm not sure. It was enjoyable nonetheless.
Well,
I'll watch
either way,
it again.
we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're
gonna get there for sure.
Yeah, we'll do it. All right. So you didn't watch Medea because you were watching football. I guess we start with the Bills. Win's a win in December, I guess is what we would say. They just aside from kind of the offense going dark in the second half, everything was fine, and they held on, and it was okay. But it had the makings of what it was supposed to be. At 20-10, it was fine. Honestly, at 20-10, they get the ball back with like, I don't know, around 2 minutes left in the second quarter, and I'm like, well, it's going to be either 23-10 or 27-10 when this thing ends, because the Bills with the ball with 2 minutes against the Browns are going to score. And then they had one of their worst drives of all time where they just were backing up. It was awful. And so they luckily get out of that without Cleveland scoring somehow. And then nothing on offense, but I don't think I really cared. It was just kind of get this one, as Bulldog would say, in the garage. Like, just put the thing in the garage and let's move on. So I'll just take the win is kind of where I land.
I'm a little bit surprised that they went for the touchdown late there in the fourth quarter on the Dawson Knox drop in the end zone.
Yeah.
I think
that was no belief in the kicker, I think, right? That's part of it.
Well, yeah, but they were at a decent range where you should feel okay. I mean,
you did sign him. He does do this professionally. He hasn't been great.
Yeah,
he was available, but yeah.
I think to go up 6 at that point was probably the smarter play. But I also think there was an element to that decision making that the Bills were not at all worried about Cleveland's offense. Now you're setting yourself up, because if somebody slips down,
right,
completely out of the, something fluky happens and you end up with a big play on you. Now you're in trouble. But like you said, win is a win. It was good to see the defense look the last 2-3 drives how I kind of expected them to look against a team in Cleveland that's one of the worst in the leagues with. I know that it's a famous name, but it's still a third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff defensively that I wasn't really a fan of, and makes me kind of, again, think long-term of how this projects to the postseason, because that's where they're going here.
Yeah.
And it's still not stopping the run. And, again, in the first half, mostly, they're lucky they got 2 tip ball picks. They weren't doing much defensively outside of those 2 plays. They were playing so deep zone coverage, especially early. There is no one on the team for the Cleveland Browns that should threaten you deep.
And there's no one that can get him the ball if there was.
Right, and the quarterback's arm isn't really strong enough to really stretch the field like that, even if they had a deep threat. And they were just giving them these easy checkdowns that turned into just saying, hey, will you let us hand the ball off 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and take the defensive line completely out of the game? And the Bills were more than willing to say, sure. And that was most of the first drives. That's all it was. Again, they turned it around, but I just don't understand even going into the game with that type of approach. Let's try to step on their throat right away. And then, second half, again, they need to run the ball. That's what they do best. They don't have the horses on the outside. They've tried a bunch of stuff. They've tried to bring guys in. They're bringing back Hardman off the IR. Cooks. Josh can't catch the ball too.
Yeah.
And
Cooks is
it's
frustrating.
Just,
You
it's
can
not
see why
working.
he's been on so many teams.
Right. I mean, Josh basically walked the ball down the field and set it in his hands 40 yards down the field there in the second half, and he still dropped it. The Dawson Knox play, he hit him in the hands. Like, what more is he supposed to do? So, again, it's a flawed team, but a flawed team that has won 4 in a row and is still finding ways to win and is still in the conversation. Almost, man, Baltimore, the AFC version of the Giants at this point, almost had the week that you and I have been talking about for 3 or 4 weeks now, which is, I still think that this is going to come back to you. They are a game out of the 1 seed, and Baltimore was up 10 points with 7 minutes to go and looked like they were about to be tied for the lead in the division.
Yep.
So I think everything is still very much on the table and still a big opportunity here for the Bills. A big game against Philadelphia. This is not going to be an easy one because the Eagles, I think, are going to be willing to come out and pound the football to try and firm up their spot in the playoffs.
Yep.
So this is going to be a tough one, but as far as this game is concerned, all right, they came out, they took care of business, they got a win. These traditionally, over the last couple of seasons, have been games that are close, and some of them have not gone the Bills' way. So to get this one a win and keep in contention for the division and keep in contention for the number 1 seed overall, albeit a distant chance, it's still there. And that's all I kind of take away from it.
Yep.
All right, this is done, and that's it.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought the Thursday night game was the game of the year until I saw the Saturday night game. I don't know which I liked better, but what a fun weekend just of pro football. I didn't watch a second of college football yet in the playoff here, but pro football. I want your thoughts on college, obviously, in a moment. But did you see both? We already talked about the Thursday game because we talk on Friday. But the Saturday night game was as interesting and fun as you could possibly imagine. It just what a whirlwind.
And then you tap it off on Sunday with Lions. The Lions game got awfully interesting there at the end.
Yeah.
And then I thought the Sunday night was good.
Yeah. No, it's been
10
fun.
points down from the Patriots. They had to come back and win. And, Lamar Jackson hurt again is something to keep an eye on. He's breaking down here this year. So,
well, and we talk about this a lot with when a guy whose primary tool is mobility, when that goes away at quarterback, what are you now? And like they said, he hasn't had a 20-yard run this season, and he still looks, for the most
on my
part,
fantasy team.
That sucks. He, for the most part, looks the same as usual to me. But once they pointed out, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I haven't seen that. And then there was a play yesterday, and I bet you noticed this too, where he was. I mean, he looked every bit like himself, moving in the pocket, and got himself to like 3 different spots to try to create an available throwing lane, but easily could have just taken off and just didn't. Like, his unwillingness to do that that makes him a very different player, and that makes them a very different team.
Yeah, we saw 12 games of it this year in person.
Yeah.
Of a very similar situation.
That's a good point.
And it definitely changes the math on the whole team there. But yeah, a lot of really good games. Going over the top there for the touchdown to win in overtime was ballsy, but that's the same type of thing that he did in Detroit. So, he's been able to roll it over and carry that on there in Chicago, and the Bears, for the first time in a while, looking like an actual team. So I still don't think that they're quite there yet to be a real contender compared with some of the other experienced teams in the NFC. But it is a good story. I have no hatred or any other feelings towards the Chicago Bears. But it does feel a little bit more fun when they are relevant than as for when they're just kind of also in the league. So that's fun. I like the Bears. I like the Bears being relevant and having a say in things again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Seattle is better than I thought.
Little bit. Yeah, they're a little bit better than I thought. They still should have lost. And I still have no belief in the quarterback when the rubber's going to meet the road here. So,
yeah,
they're better than I thought, but
no, I think that's the same. I'm in the same place. Because I think about them and I think about the quarterback, and then I go, never mind. But
I think Smith and Jigba is great.
Yeah,
and I think he's kind of when we talk about that like elite group of wide receivers, he absolutely deserves to be in that conversation because he's having a great year and he's kind of flown under the radar because they're way out there in Seattle and they wear the weird jerseys. And
yeah. What about Jacksonville? What am I supposed to think of Jacksonville? I saw something today. I think Orlovsky called Trevor Lawrence the most improved player in the NFL or something. And like, do I have to consider that, or is he still just Trevor Lawrence who, while he was worshipped and thought of in some circles as the best quarterback prospect since John Elway heading into the NFL draft? And I was like, are you serious? I don't see that at all. And it has held true for his entire career. And then I watch what's going on late in the season this year, and he looks legitimate, but I still don't believe in him kind of in the same Darnold way. Like, what do you think of that Jaguars team that won't go away?
I think you have to take him seriously. You know, they've got enough weapons and they've got themselves kind of in a system and they kind of believe in themselves. So any of those types of teams are going to be dangerous, and that's a big win for them coming down the stretch to kind of validate for them what they're doing.
For sure.
So, I think that you have to take him serious. I think, well, the game comes on yesterday, the Broncos Jags. My wife comes into the room and says, the whole like, what game is this? And I say that. And as I say that, they show Trevor Lawrence. And she says, oh, this guy still has that long hair. And that's kind of a simplified version of where I've been for the last 4 years on Trevor Lawrence. Like, oh yeah, he still has the long hair. He's still going with the sunshine look from Remember the Titans. Okay.
Capri
cool.
pants.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what else is going on in the NFL? And I think that you have to take him seriously. I think one other thing to factor in this is that really for the first time in his career at this stage of the season, other than the year that they went to the playoffs, he's healthy right now. He's had, a couple of years where there were concussions that took him out. He had a couple of banged up lower body injuries. So, I think that's another thing to factor in is he can move, he can run a little bit. He's not nearly the running weapon that a Josh or a Lamar or something like that is, but he can move enough to make it annoying and hurt you. And for the first time in a while, he looks healthy. So, they got a little bit of a running game. They've got enough pieces on the outside to kind of piece it together and made it nice. Didn't they brought in Jacoby Myers, I believe, at the trade deadline this year, and he has worked out really nicely. So, we'll see. Again, I really like my chances if I'm in the AFC and I'm walking Josh Allen into the building against every other quarterback that we've talked about right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the interesting thing to think about is the pressure on Josh Allen this year with no Lamar, no Mahomes is going to be big. It's going to be big.
Yeah.
No Burrow. He's the guy. He is going to be the guy in this playoffs. So we'll see how that materializes.
Yeah,
you know,
there's a lot there. It's very different. It's a very different vibe right now. Very interesting. 6 teams still could be the 1 seed with 2 weeks up. 6 teams could still be the 1 seed in the AFC, which is crazy. And the Bills are one of them. I don't expect that. I think the division is very much in reach. I think the 1 seed would be that's like crazy scenario, but you never know, man. I don't fully believe in anyone. No one fully scares me. You could just kind of take the top 7 and randomize it, and that would be fine. Like, oh, what did we draw? Like a fantasy draft. You know, like, oh, I'm picking 6th this year. No, not based on who should be where. It's just there are going to be 7 teams in the playoffs, and somebody's going to emerge. There are going to be 7 teams on the other side, and somebody's going to emerge. I don't know, but I'll take my chances with. I think the best player in the league. So I don't know. It's kind of where I am. Have you ever seen a triple play in person? Baseball. Switching to baseball. We're going to get to college football. Have you ever seen a triple play in person? Because I had not, and I watched one the other night, pulled off by 9-year-olds, and it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen live.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
It happens so fast, and like even if you're in the moment, like you've seen this, especially in little league games where they'll like turn a double play for 4 outs. You know, like nobody really knows what's going on. Like that happens a lot. And this was like they just got 3. Did they need 3? Yeah, they did need. That was a trip. The inning's over. What just happened? There were 2 men on and no outs, and now 1 pitch later, the inning is over. It was insane. It was a line drive to second base. Kid catches the line drive. The kid who was on first is trying to get back to first. The second baseman chases him down, tags him rather than throwing, and then turns and fires home for a kid who was tagging up for third, and the catcher puts the tag on, and it's done. Like it was unbelievable, and these kids are 9. It was awesome.
So that's like a 4-2 triple play.
Yeah, it was line. Yeah, 4.
So it's not even like multiple people touching the ball. That's just 2 guys.
Yeah, and I had
That's even rarer.
I had the scorebook, not Game Changer, but the scorebook, and already like the pencil wasn't super sharp, so I couldn't write very as small as I would like to and as neatly as I would like to. And then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, what do I have to do here? So I ended up just writing a 4 and a circle on the batter, and then I wrote a 4 and a circle because I don't know how to write like tagged out on the runner, and then it was a 4-2 on the kid that was on third base. But I had to deal with the scorebook aspect of it. That was a little rough, a little challenge in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's much easier in the Game Changer situation. It's just a couple of clicks.
Well, a couple clicks until you get something wrong. When there's a mistake in Game Changer, I might as well die. Like to try to go back because the action doesn't stop. Like you can't say, all right, everyone who's playing this game, hold on. This guy is having trouble with the phone over here. You can't make him pause. So once you're behind, you're dead. At least on paper, you can figure it out. But if you get lost in Game Changer, it's life altering. It sucks.
Yeah, no, I can see that because I used to have to keep the Game Changer app while also coaching a base.
That's no good.
Yeah, it was difficult, but it was done.
Yeah. All right, college football. You watched. I didn't.
I did.
What did I miss?
Well, first of all, big comeback by Alabama at Oklahoma. Sooners up 17-0. Looks like, wow, Bama's just going to get run out of here. And slowly but surely, they found their way back. They ended up winning the game, and they're going to move on to the Rose Bowl to face Indiana. For me, the most attention of the weekend was going to be on the thing that you and I talked about before, which is this year, 2 group of 5 teams get into the playoff. There's a little bit of bitching and moaning from some of the other people. And I said, and I still mean this, if you have a problem with the group of 5, you don't like college football, you like the NFL, but also watch football on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I still follow along with that. And it's just, Tulane lost, so did James Madison, as expected. And just hearing well, this is ridiculous.
They shouldn't have been
they
there.
shouldn't
Yeah.
they shouldn't have been there. It shouldn't be like this. But it really sticks in my craw because it's absolutely ridiculous and false. So I really did a little bit of digging on this. Teams that have lost by 31 or more points in the college football playoff: Florida State, Michigan State, Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Tulane. There's only one Group of 5 team in there. Only one. And if you actually watch the game, Tulane moved the ball a lot. And so did James Madison. James Madison had a ton of yards in that game. The difference was when they had the opportunity early in the game, they couldn't get the ball in the end zone. That was the difference. If Tulane had been able to score on their first 2 drives when they drove down, instead of it being a field goal and a pick inside the 10, that's a much different feeling game.
Sure.
But they weren't. So to make it seem like, that it was a game that was a 30-point difference, but it really wasn't. If you watched it in the first half, Tulane hung around and asked some questions and caused some problems. They didn't have any answer for Ole Miss defensively. Yes, but to make it seem like it's just a Group of 5, this happens all the time. This happened all the time and routinely when we were just in 4 teams. Whoever the 4th team was when it was just 4 teams was usually getting their behinds blown away. So to make it seem like this is a Group of 5 thing is utterly ridiculous. How about the fact that Texas A&M scored 3 points against like the 5th best team in the ACC? At home? Did they deserve to go? Did they deserve to be in the college football playoff? I guess not, right? I mean, they were just terrible. They didn't even score a touchdown. Did I hear any complaints? It's funny, last year when Tennessee went to Ohio State and was down 42-10, I didn't hear anybody saying that Tennessee should join the Sun Belt and just leave. Because this is what happens. Sometimes teams play other teams and they lose by a bunch. It has no direct correlation to whether or not they should have been in the playoffs. The Oakland Raiders went and lost by 53 points?
48.
48 points. Should they have not been in the playoffs that year?
No, they should have had Bo
they
Jackson.
Earned their right.
They should have had Bo Jackson.
Games. They earned the right to be there. They played the right, and then they ran it, and they had a bad day, and they lost against a better team. That's what happens. That's what football is sometimes. But to say that an entire group of teams that exists on the same level, under the same rules, should not even have a chance to play for the championship of that division is asinine. It's completely ridiculous. And I hate also hearing how, all these teams they're so, the Group of 5 teams, they've got no talent, and it's they have no business being in these games against these teams. Funny, in a couple of weeks when the portal opens, I'm going to see an awful lot of our guys from Group of 5 teams end up on Power 5 teams.
Yeah.
Indiana's the number 1 team in the country. Most of their roster is from James Madison. It's just asinine. Tulane shouldn't have been there. They had no business being there. They were completely overmatched and overmanned and didn't deserve to be there. And they're not capable opponents. Well, I'm sorry, their head coach is capable to lead the Florida Gators in a couple of weeks.
Right.
The Group of 5 sucks.
8 players
but all
from that
I
team.
see is all of their coaches getting hired and promoted to all the big places, all the assistants getting hired and promoted, and all the players getting paid an obscene amount of money to go make all these bigger programs that are supposedly already great better. So there is no argument for the Group of 5 to not be included in the playoff. It's ridiculous. It's mind-numbingly dumb. For me, I think the easiest way to take all of this off the table, and I was a big advocate for keeping the playoff at 4. I liked the way it was at 4. It made, last year, Ohio State should not have won the national championship because they wouldn't have made the final 4 teams in the old college football playoff because they lost to Michigan.
Yep.
Because they lost their chance at a title because of the rivalry game the day after or 2 days after Thanksgiving, just like it always is. So I was a big proponent of that. But now that that's out the window, so I think that you have to go to the FCS model and wipe all this clear and go to 24 teams, every conference that's in the major conference, the top FBS football, gets their champion in. And just like in the FCS, yes, some of those teams are going to get blown out in the first week, but and they play every week, and they play on campuses, and it's easy. It's an easy situation. It's an easy fix. And I like the fact that if you were to expand to that, 10 conference champions and the rest are at-large teams, you remove any type of conversation that there would ever be somebody that would be capable of winning the championship that did not have the chance to win the championship. And look at the FCS this year. Illinois State did not receive one of the top 8 seeds in the FCS tournament. They are playing for a national championship against Montana State. So, put everybody in, enough with the nonsense, have some of the early round matchups, put more games on campuses, and end all of the nonsense as it is. You're not going to hear anybody complain that there's a 3 or 4 loss team not make the college football playoff. There will be no complaints from anybody. Is that too many people? Yes. But that's not, we're living in this world now. And they need to either make a decision. The group of 5 is either going to be a part of it, or they're going to kick them out and they're eventually going to play for their own championship. But as long as they're in the same division, as long as they're in the FBS, they deserve a chance to play for the national championship. As it is, it's only one team. As it is, it's one. They're going to get one shot while everybody else gets the rest. And even that is too much for people. It's asinine. It's asinine. They don't like college football. They just like the NFL and want to watch it on Saturdays too. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I was about to ask you what happened in the Montana State game, but as I was typing it in, you mentioned that Montana State will be playing for the FCS title. Did you watch that game? Because that looks pretty crazy. 21-point fourth quarter for State to pull away.
Well, yeah, Montana State had a big start. Montana came back, clawed back, got a big interception in the second quarter, evened it up, and then took the lead in the third quarter. They were under control, and just an avalanche from Montana State. There was like an 80-yard play followed by turnover and a quick touchdown, and things kind of escalated quickly on the Grizzlies, and they couldn't get it back. But Montana State, great offensive team, and I like the Grizz, but Montana State earned it. That was a big fourth quarter from them.
All right, is there anything else, or are we done?
No, I got other stuff.
All right, go ahead.
You hit me. I've got other stuff. If you have time.
I've got time. I don't have any questions for you.
Okay.
I have one question for you. Did you watch The Wire?
Yes.
Did you see that Ziggy Zapatka died?
Oh, I did not see that.
He was the kid in season 2.
Yeah.
When I think of The Wire, I remember watching it and thinking season 2 was the slowest, and it was a little more plotting than the others. But then when I think back to the show, season 2 is the one that I remember most fondly, and it was the Zapatkas. And he killed himself like 3 days ago. James Ransone is his name. But I think it's worth noting that while I think season 2 is probably the most maligned of the 5 seasons of The Wire, it's the one that I find the most memorable.
Yeah, you're talking about the ship unions, the dock worker unions. Yes. I actually liked that season. I thought there was a lot of interesting characters in that one. And it is a lot less depressing than the school season.
Well, yeah, or really any other season. Yeah. But
so, yeah, I think that's why I think that.
Okay. That's all. That's the only thing I have left. So now it's time for you to just say your stuff.
Well, I have another college football point to
Okay.
make here. I saw some, because of all the complaints about it and people fighting back online saying, like, what are you talking about? Why should they not get a chance to win the championship if they're good? A lot of people throwing ideas out there about the changing landscape of college football. And one thing that I saw that was interesting, and I'd like to get your reaction to, because I kind of like it, would be, a lot of the bowl games are kind of being thrown by the wayside because of the playoff. One way to save the bowl structure and to save the importance of those games would be that a bowl game doesn't end that season, to move the bowl games to week 0 of the next year and have teams play those games in the bowl games at the start of the next season. And I kind of like that because, one, it would give a lot of teams and a lot of places 6 or 7 months an opportunity to plan out a trip to take the family to go see the game in some of these places, instead of 2 weeks, week and a half in some cases. Just coming from our own perspective, families have like a week and a half to 2 weeks max to plan to get to Boise.
Forget Boise.
To pay for it.
Forget Boise. Bahamas. Watch it. If you had watched the movie I assigned you, there's a scene. So the destination wedding, we're back to Medea here, but the destination wedding is like, it all happens very fast, and they're announcing we're getting married in the Bahamas. You're all invited. It's in 2 weeks. And then there's a scene where they're all at the passport office. And I pictured myself at the passport office like, Jesus, I got to go to the Bahamas. I've never left. I've been here. I've been Canada. I've been Mexico. You can do those things. This is like a whole new thing. And you have to deal with that. So, yes, having 2 weeks to get ready for a trip is intense. So, yeah, you'd solve that. There's also a recruiting aspect to it. Like, I know the Bahamas Bowl seems to have just gone away, but if you're trying to recruit, if you earn a spot in the Arizona Bowl, you now have the ability, while sealing the deal on, I guess it would be like transfer portal type of people, but whatever. Like, hey, we're doing this next year. You already get to tell people we're going to, Florida International, and we're going to, we're opening at Michigan, we're opening at Ohio State, but having a trip on the horizon, I think it just helps. Like that's from a planning standpoint, you can also make your roster better in time for that. I like this idea. This is fun.
So, yeah, I mean, it was along the lines of, let's move the bowl games to the next season for week 0 and add more teams into the playoffs for this year. And that kind of, then we move those games on campus instead of having them at neutral site games.
Yep.
Because I think now the second year of seeing how exciting it is to have those games on campus and having them in home stadiums, I think I would rather see that than see them play in just some cavernous NFL stadium. You want to talk semis and finals? Fine.
Yeah, that's different.
But you're talking about now the number one team in the country. If you're an Indiana Hoosiers fan, let's say you make a run to the championship, you got to go to Pasadena, and then whatever and then Arizona to the Fiesta Bowl for the semis, and then to the championship. So you're talking about 3 bowl games now that you've got to plan out and pay for. It's just, listen, we won. We won every game. We should have them right here.
Yeah.
They should be in Bloomington. So I like the thought of, with the playoff going into it, there's not as much shine on the Orange Bowl. It's just kind of, they're playing the game in Miami as opposed to it's the Orange Bowl.
Completely, yes.
And they could keep some of that if they say, hey, next year, these are the 2 teams playing in the Orange Bowl. And that's how you kick off the football season. Instead of ending it that way, ending it as the playoff being the main course at the end of the season, put more games on campus, and then move those other games back to week 0 so that there is some shine.
Sure.
So that you can have that. How great would it be in August to have Thursday night? It's the Potato Bowl in August.
Yeah.
That's the time of the year where this nation is craving football. That's preseason football. That's like, oh my God, give me anything that matters right now on the television. And to have those on there and throw that in there, I think could be a fun way. Now, I know that it's not necessarily rewarding the team that earned that bowl game.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's based off the previous season.
Yeah,
but
so what?
I
don't have a problem with that. That's the only complaint there would be.
Unique experience.
Yeah. So is there any sort of movement pushing for this? It sounds like it's not your idea. It sounds like it came from somewhere else. But like, is there a chance that this is being considered by people that matter, or is it just something that we're talking about? Because it all sounds great to me, but now I want it to happen, and I don't know how we.
I think it's something that we're just talking about right now, but I would have no problem bringing it up to people. I mean, next time you see Mark,
okay,
just drop in there and say, hey, can we move the bowl games to August instead, and we'll start the season with some of those matchups. And it basically becomes a way to routinely get 13 games in as well for the next season. So,
and it separates the playoff. There's been it's a sloppy merge between the old school bowl system and the new school playoff system. The merge is not going as well as we'd like. So this is a way to kind of preserve both of those things. The playoff is a good idea, but the playoff mixed with the bowl thing, which is another good idea, isn't necessarily working. So that's all we're saying. We're saying we like the bowls and we like the playoff.
You can't get rid of all of the bowls because that's those are TV programs.
Right.
We've talked about that a bunch. So you're not going to get rid of inventory for ESPN. They're not going to want that. So that's why I'm saying expanding the playoffs, moving all the bowls so that they're still going to get all those games. They're going to get a bunch of those extra games because now you're going to put in 24 teams into the playoffs. They're still going to get that. Plus, they're going to get the games at the start of the next season and start a week earlier. So, it's just an interesting way. Let me ask you this. I saw this post as well, and I thought that this is a perfect question for you. Right now, there are 4 bowl games that exist right now that have the winning coaches get doused in their
respective sauces
in their respective situations. Yeah.
Mayo.
I'm guessing I'd like to know which, maybe the order of yours from preferred to least preferred.
Mayo sounds horrible, and I like mayonnaise.
Mayo, Cheez-Its, French fries, and coffee.
Is the coffee wet or dry?
That I don't know. I think it's wet.
Dry coffee sounds fine. That's just nice smelling powder. Mayo seems so gross to me, enough that like I don't want to see it happen. Cheez-Its are delicious and fun and dry. That's fine. What's my other option?
But also hard with corners.
They have corners. I feel like
dumped on your face.
I know. I feel like I could take that hit. If I'd want goggles, or just close my eyes. I just want a heads up. I don't want to be hit with surprise, 4 tons of Cheez-Its or whatever they end up using. What's my other choice? Coffee, mayo, Cheez-Its, and
French fries.
That seems easy. That's I think the easiest one to take. Now the coffee's, if it's dry coffee, coffee dry,
it's wet coffee. Let's say it's wet,
liquid coffee,
lukewarm coffee.
Lukewarm coffee. I don't want that then.
Boiling hot coffee.
Scalding coffee. The stuff that earned a woman money when she spilled it in her lap at McDonald's.
From McDonald's, yes.
No, not that. So that's. I would take that over mayo, assuming it's not boiling hot. If it's just warm coffee, I would rather warm coffee. Mayo's in last. Cheez-Its and French fries are tied for no problem. Now, French fries are easiest, softer. So French fries first, Cheez-Its second, warm coffee third, mayo fourth.
If I gave you 24 hours.
How many Cheez-Its?
Okay. which of those, let's say that they fill the container, the Gatorade jug,
Yeah.
full.
Okay.
Which of those could you finish in 24 hours?
Gatorade jug. This is how you get me. All right. See, this is it. This is how you do it. This is the new trick, Scott. Don't say, Brad, can you do this? Just say, you're doing this. Which do you choose? And then I have to choose. That's a very, very good play on your part. All right. So a Gatorade jug of coffee in 24 hours? No. Mayonnaise? Good God, no.
Here's the thing: if I can get you to do the Gatorade jug of coffee in 24 hours, you're gonna be so jacked up. I can get one of these other ones done too.
Yeah, just do the mayo. Oh, that's good. I'll do the mayo now. Give me the mayo. No.
Right.
I think Cheez-Its sound most doable, although I'm already thinking about the dryness of the pistachios and how that bit me. But 24 hours is a lot of hours.
I'm thinking French fries is easy.
I get sick of fries. I threw out the end of my fries the last like 2 times I've been somewhere. Yeah. I was at Ted's the other day. We had like the fries and rings. That was great. Finished those. No, there's somewhere recently. Oh, I know. I went to one of those hot chicken places.
Okay.
Do you have an opinion on the Nashville hot chicken in general? Have you had it?
No, I've had Dave's hot chicken. Is it basically? It's probably the same thing.
Same thing. Dave's hot chicken. That's where I went.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine.
It's fine. I don't think they're that. I said hot. You get to choose your spice level.
Yeah.
And there's like no spice, mild, medium, hot, extra hot, and suicidal or whatever they call it. I went with hot because I figured I'm going to Dave's hot chicken. I should get hot.
Get hot chicken.
Yeah, I should get hot chicken. I don't think I like it.
It's too hot?
No, just the flavor is. It's wrong. Like,
well, I
it's
think
like overly salty or something.
Yeah, I think you're coming from the perspective that it's a dry rub, and you're probably used to a sauce giving you that flavor.
Well, I knew what I was getting.
No, I know. I'm just saying your palate.
Yeah, I think I just don't like the taste of it. I do dry rub things. I make my own dry rub things. I'm a barbecue master.
No, listen, I know you dry rub.
Yeah, hell yeah. But I
big dry rub guy.
I'm a big sauce guy. I like flavors. I like mixing flavors. I like contrast in my food. And I just, there's something about the taste of that Nashville hot thing. Like, buffalo sauce is a thing. And I know I'm from Buffalo, so it's a little different. But, like, I get why the world has said this buffalo flavor is awesome. I get that. I don't think that the Nashville hot flavor deserves to be in the same conversation. And these places are popping up, and that is a thing. You go to Nashville hot chicken places, and Buffalo hot something, yes. Nashville hot, I think I don't like the taste. I ate it. I didn't finish the fries. But I ate it, and it was okay. But it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I thought it was set up perfectly. I thought the toppings were right, and it involved pickles, and like they got it right. It's the rub itself. I think the flavor it's too salty, and it's just a weird version of hot. So I'm kind of thumbs down. They opened this Dave's Hot Chicken place, I don't know, a couple years ago, and I keep driving by it, and I keep thinking I got to try it, and I finally did it, and I think I don't like it. That's all.
That's a thumbs down.
Yeah.
It's also you have to factor in that you're coming off of 3 solid months where we're used to getting cold chicken sandwiches.
Right.
So it might have just been the fact that they were hot.
No, that part was good.
The temperature was warm.
No, the temperature was great. And the rest of the toppings, like all the roll was, all of it was good. They were doing something right. There was a side like dipping sauce thing that was good. It was the overt saltiness of the heat there's just something not right about it. And I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that it should be as successful as it is. I'm not just saying like I hate it. I don't like it. I don't get how, like, I was looking around at a fairly full restaurant of people who were all doing this to themselves. And I felt like we were hoodwinked or something. There's just something wrong with that flavor becoming a popular flavor to me.
So you're saying you could do the mayo?
No, I'm not. I didn't say that.
That you're going to do the mayo?
I don't like where you're going with this. No, I would go Cheez-Its, then fries, then to consume. I would go Cheez-Its first, most likely to be consumable by me. I would feel terrible, but I could probably. I'd give myself. I'm not going to say I could do it. I would give myself the best shot of accomplishing the Gatorade bucket full of Cheez-Its over coffee, mayo, or I keep forgetting one of them. French fries.
French fries.
Yeah, French fries too thick. I wouldn't finish. I think Cheez-Its are the way to go.
All right. That's fair.
I don't
try
want
to
to
organize this.
No. No, you can. I'm telling you, I think you nailed the approach. You nailed the approach, but I'm not agreeing to this. But that's the right way to come at me. It's not a will you or can you. It's, hey, which one do you think you'd be better at? And then you got to push after the fact. But there's no part of me signing up for a Gatorade bucket full of Cheez-Its on any road trip whatsoever.
If you could, if the regular supermarket size, like a Hellman's.
A jar of Hellman's, yeah.
Yeah, like a regular jar of Hellman's. Let's just say someone gave you 24 hours. Could you do it?
A regular jar of mayonnaise?
Yeah.
The one that lasts about 6 months at regular pace? Could I?
You can put it on stuff, yeah. You can dip stuff in it. It's just got to be gone in 24.
I don't want to, but but like, if I'm being held hostage, I've been captured by ISIS.
For $500.
No. If I've been captured by ISIS.
For $525.
All right. No. If I've been captured by a terrorist organization, and the only way for me to escape and get back to my regular life involves a jar of mayonnaise being consumed in 24 hours, I think I could accomplish it, but not by itself. Because I like mayonnaise. Like, I like the idea of a chicken sandwich, like a fried chicken patty, like mayonnaise, even like the Dave's thing. Like that.
Yeah.
I have recently, I don't know, in the last 5 years or so.
Burgers.
Yeah, burgers. Yeah, I like mayonnaise on things.
Tuna.
Mayonnaise in tuna. Yeah, but then I got to eat all the tuna too. Yeah, I think I could do that. But that's if I'm held hostage by a terrorist organization, and that's the only way for me to escape. I would do it. As far as like doing it for fun with you, I'm disgusted by the idea. Just like I'm disgusted by watching Duke's Mayo get dumped on a coach. I can't. No, I don't. No. The other day, I went way too heavy, so we had no idea for dinner the other day. This was last Wednesday. I had no idea what to do. My wife is working. I was going out. This is probably the same. Yeah, this is the same day that I ate the Nashville hot chicken or the Dave's hot chicken. It was on me to come up with a meal. I had no ideas. You get just sick of everything, like food-wise. We eat the same, like, 7 meals all the time, and they're just, I don't know, I wanted something different. I decided, I just went to Wegmans, like the prepared food area, and came across beer-battered fish. I was like, yeah, we're doing fish fry. I know it's a Wednesday, but we're doing, I say fish fry. It's beer-battered, but then you bake it in the oven. And I was like, all right, what goes with this? And I thought macaroni salad. I thought potato salad. And then, obviously, fish is tartar sauce. And I realized I made a meal that was almost entirely mayonnaise-based because the tartar sauce goes on the fish. The mac salad had mayo in it. I had coleslaw. I made coleslaw. Made my own coleslaw for the first time. That went all right. And even coleslaw that looks to be more of like a vinegar-based thing, you still use mayo for that. So we had 4 things on the plate. And then fries. I didn't use mayo on the fries, but all of them mayonnaise based. So I can get creative with mayonnaise. I like using it, but just the idea of a mass quantity of it disgusts me beyond belief, which is why it would require the terrorists, as previously discussed. Is that a fair enough answer?
Terror organizations, take note.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna. That's how I'm gonna free myself. Okay, I'll ask you again. Are we done, or do you still have more?
Well, we're not. There's no Friday, right? No Friday show?
No Friday show.
Let me give you my pick.
Unless we could still do the Christmas midnight masterpiece or midnight mass.
Midnight Mass.
Whatever that is. I'm open to.
Midnight Mass of Humanity?
Yeah, I'm open to that. I'm open to going live at midnight Christmas Eve into Christmas. But no Friday.
The Midnight Mayo Mass.
I'm not doing mayo. There's no. Unless mayo comes through with a sponsorship.
It's right there. It's right there. It's all there for you. That'd be perfect. The Midnight Mayo Madness Mass.
Midnight Mass Mayo. I don't want to eat a jar of mayonnaise though. That's what I keep running into. Like, I'm willing to do a show. I'm willing to have fun. I'm willing to make a mockery of church. I'm in for all of that. It's the consumption of a jar of mayonnaise that is not. It doesn't tickle my fancy.
We could set up right outside of like the archdiocese and do it.
You have my attention.
Live, midnight.
You have my attention.
Midnight.
Just live from the basilica.
Yeah. Live from the steps of the basilica. Brad eats mayo.
Good diet, red and green.
Midnight Mayo Madness.
All right. Yeah, fine.
For Jesus.
All right, fine. No, I'm not doing that.
Oh
that
my God!
It does sound great.
It's midnight Mayo Madness for the Messiah.
If only it was on Monday.
Christmas spectacular.
All right, I'll think about it.
So let me give you my pick then.
All right.
The game is today. It's at 2:00. It's in Boise, Idaho, on the turf.
Oh.
It is the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. We've been there. We love it there. God bless Boise. It's a great town. I'm going to take Washington State plus 1.5 against Utah State. The Cougars have kind of kept their team together. They've lost their head coach. He's going to Iowa State, but they still have both coordinators, and most of the players that have kind of hinted that they're going into the portal have also said they're probably going to play in this game. And Utah State has been shaky run defense-wise. I think the Cougars, who opened up as favorites in this game, it's been a bit of an overreaction by Vegas to them losing their head coach. I think Washington State, who has played, they are 6-6 on the year, but they have played good teams down to the wire. They took Ole Miss down to the wire. They led most of the time in their game at Oxford and lost by a field goal. They played and lost a one-possession game to Virginia. So Washington State has played well all year, just had some hard luck losses. I think they're going to be good enough today. Plus, I get points, so I like that. Out west in Boise, underrated stadium for the view. You get the mountains in the background. That's a really cool stadium and place to visit.
And the blue turf looks awesome in person too. And
much better than gray.
Yeah, that's horrible. I hate the gray. I don't hate the teal. I thought I would hate the teal. Teal was all right at Coastal, but the blue is cool. And honestly, like, I think my kids think I'm cooler because I've stood on that surface. You know, if I was better prepared, I've got pictures of us like down on that turf, in like winter coats, you lining up like you're running a route. Like, we have pictures from that place, and I don't know. That's one of the cool kind of football bucket list things that we've checked off by being a part of this UB football program and, you know, organization for as long as we have it. That's on my list of, you know, what's cool. You know how every now and then you turn on football and there's this weird blue turf. I've been on that turf, so I like watching those games. So I'm in for that.
And we have a great photo of the two of us in coats and winter hats, drinking beer with the live
San Jose State or San Diego State.
The San Diego State Aztec mascot guy, who was just a guy. There is no costume. He's shirtless in the snow.
Yes.
And it's the two of us with him.
Oh, man. All right. What year did we go there? 13?
Talk about a dry rub.
What year did we go there? Was that 13?
That was the
Khalil, yeah.
Khalil Mack, Brandon Oliver.
All right, let me see. Let me just check real quick in my somewhat organized part of my photos here. That would have been in December of 13.
And while you're looking, I'll say Boise State reminded me of all the places we've been, reminded me the most of Buffalo.
Well, it was snowing. That helped.
Yes, but the people there were very friendly and very welcoming. The food was great. There were good restaurants. It was still a hockey town, and they've got it's a smaller place, smaller barn, smaller arena, but they came out, although dollar beer night will drive the crowds. It just very much felt a lot like Buffalo of all the places we've been.
All right, I don't have the picture of the I don't have the picture of the Aztec. I've got a picture of our gear that I still think I have. It was the New York era. There's you lined up as a receiver. All right, let me see if I can. This is going to be because I don't have my other monitor. All right, I'm going to try to pop this up. I know this is dull if you're only listening, but if you're watching, it's about to become spectacular because you're going to see. I have individual pictures of each of us, none of us together. I've got the office that we were working out of that day, which I believe it almost looks like an Ohio type of thing. Maybe not. All right, let me see if I can make this work. I have to create a new. Oh, I know how to do it. Reaction full screen. Oh, but that screen doesn't work anymore, so now I have to change this setting. I think I can do this. All right, properties. It's tough to do live. Photos. 951. Yeah. Okay. Okay to that. And then I'm going to turn this to here. And now on the screen, instead of Scott, you see a picture of the blue turf. And where did the other thing go? This is so dull. It's got to be terrible for you right now, isn't it? Isn't this awful?
This is awful.
Yeah.
This is just terrible. This is a terrible moment.
All right, let's see if I pop
what's
that
getting
open.
me through is thinking about Christmas with Mayo, with you and Mayo.
All right,
or the Messiah.
No, we're not doing that. If I switch this again to this, we're at least going to get the picture of you on the screen. There it is. All right, there it is. It's not big enough, but it's a picture of you on the blue turf, lined up as a receiver at the 15-yard line.
We got a little bit of a 3-game streak here going. So Washington State plus 1.5.
All right, good job.
Got a three wins in a row.
Yeah.
Cash and money.
All right, we'll talk to you at midnight on Christmas.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring the Mayo.
Sounds good. Thanks, Scott.
See ya.
Bye. There's Scott Wilson. I'm Brad Riter. We're done with the show. There's Scott on the turf. If I was more prepared, we'd be in good shape here. Well, let's see if I switch. Oh, here we go. There's me on the turf. There's me again on the turf. That's the jacket I'm looking for. Where is that thing? I know I still own that jacket, and lately I've been trying to. It's a good jacket. It's kind of that soft shell thing, but it's big enough, long enough. It's got a hood, and I don't know where it is. I've been without, and it's cold sometimes. There I am. That's me, 12 years ago. Next to me now. See how not gray my beard is? Pabst Blue Ribbon. There we go. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. See, this happened. There's the view from of the mountains. Stadium. The Idaho Potato Commission. Suite 615. All right, I'm closing this. We're ending the show. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with episode 232 and then off for the rest of the week because it's holiday. It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. So we got to go. All right. Goodbye. Talk to you tomorrow at 10.
What are you doing for lunch?
I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're gonna go around the corner. think you should come with us. This is a great place.
Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
Will you get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?